Once upon a time, in a certain kingdom, the king and queen lived in harmony and had 12 handsome sons. Once, the king told the queen, "If the 13th child is a girl, then the other 12 sons must die so that my daughter can inherit the inheritance and rule this kingdom alone." Then the king ordered 12 coffins to be made, containing shavings and a pillow. All 12 coffins were hidden in one place. The king gave the key to the queen and told her not to tell anyone. The queen was sad all day. The youngest son is always with the queen. That was also the child the queen named Benjamin after the Bible. Seeing that the queen always looked sad, the prince asks, "Mom, why are you always so sad?" The queen said, "My dear child, I am not allowed to say that." The prince kept asking about it, causing the queen to open the chamber door and show the 12 coffins. Then the queen explained, "Benjamin, my beloved child. The king ordered coffins to be made for you and your 11 brothers. If the 13th child is born a girl, all 12 brothers will be killed, placed in that coffin and buried." The queen spoke while sobbing. Her youngest son comforted her. "Mom, Don and number 39. Cry anymore. We will find a way to get out of this place." The queen said, "You and your 11 brothers should sneak into the forest." The children took turns climbing high trees to watch the flag placed at the royal palace watchtower. If the mother gives birth to a son, there will be a white flag at the watchtower, and the children can return to the palace. If the mother gives birth to a daughter, there will be a red flag at the watchtower, then you should quickly continue on your way. Dear God will protect you. Every night, my mother prays for her children, so that in the winter they can gather around the fire to warm themselves, and in the summer they can gather under the shade of ancient trees." Then the mother made a prayer sign for her children. Immediately afterwards, the 12 brothers fled into the forest. The brothers took turns climbing high trees to observe the royal palace watchtower. 11 days had passed without a flag. On the 12th day, when it was Benjamin and number 39's turn, he saw a flag placed in the watchtower, but it was not a white flag but a red flag, a flag signaling that all 12 brothers must die. When they heard the news, all 12 brothers angrily said, "Why do we have to die just because of a girl? We swear revenge. The first girl we meet will have her head bleeding." Immediately after that, the 12 brothers set out, going deep into the middle of the forest. Here, the shade of the trees covers all the sunlight, so it is always gloomy. Standing in the middle of the forest is a small house that the witch has enchanted. Seeing the house, they said in unison, "We will stay here." Benjamin is the youngest brother and the weakest, staying at home to take care of the cooking. The 11 of us go hunting for food. 11 brothers went hunting for birds and deer and brought them back for Benjamin to cook and eat for the rest of the day. Suddenly, they lived like that in the house for 10 years. The daughter the queen gave birth to has now grown up. She loves people very much and is also very beautiful. She has a golden star on her forehead. One time, looking in the pile of laundry to dry, she saw 12 small shirts. She asked the queen, "Mom, whose 12 small shirts belong to them?" "So small, it dozen and #39. T belong to the king and number 39's father." The queen sadly replied, "My dear child. Those are the shirts of my 12 brothers." The girl continued to ask, "Where are my 12 brothers?" "I Haven and number 39. T heard anyone talk about this. The queen said, "Only God knows the whereabouts of your brothers. You guys are wandering everywhere." Then the queen led her daughter to a room, then took the key to open the door and pointed into the room. "Those are ready-made coffins for your 12 brothers." But the brothers escaped from the palace before the child was born. Then the queen told him the whole story. After listening, the princess said, "Mom, Don and number 39. T cry anymore, I will go find my brothers." The princess set out and brought 12 dresses with her. She went deep into the forest. She walked all day, and when it got dark, she reached the small house deep in the forest. She entered the house and met a guy who asked, "Where are you from? Where are you going?" He was surprised by her gorgeous beauty, who was beautiful and had a golden star on her forehead. The girl replied, "I am a princess. I will go to the ends of the earth to find my 12 brothers." Then she held up 12 shirts for the boy to see. Benjamin immediately understood that the person standing in front of him was his sister. He said, "I am Benjamin, the youngest of your 12 brothers." The 2 brothers were extremely happy, so happy that they hugged and kissed each other while crying. He said, "One more thing. You guys swear that the first girl you meet will die, just because of giving birth to a girl. All 12 of you have to go into hiding." The girl said, "I am willing to die to free the 12 of you." The boy said, "No, you Don and number 39, T have to die. Please hide in this box. When all 11 people return, I will discuss this matter." At night, 11 people returned from hunting. The table was prepared, they sat around the table and ate. They asked, "Is there anything happening today?" Benjamin replied, "Yes, there is something that no one knows." "So what in number 39's going on?" "While you guys were hunting, I was at home and something happened." "Then tell me more. But you must promise not to kill the first girl you meet. It can be forgiven. Just keep telling." At that time he said, "Our sister is here." Then he lifted the box. Everyone saw a girl with gorgeous beauty, with a golden star on her forehead. Everyone was extremely happy, running to hug and kiss passionately. Now she stays at home with Benjamin to take care of the kitchen work. The 11 older brothers hunted animals such as birds, rabbits, and roe deer every day and brought them home to process into dishes. The younger sister went to pick vegetables, light the stove and cook food, so that when her 11 brothers returned from hunting, they would have it right away. She also cleaned the house and arranged the bed sheets neatly. 13 brothers lived in harmony. One time, 2 brothers cooked delicious food so that all 13 brothers could eat and drink happily. Next to the house is a small flower garden with 12 white lilies which people often call student flowers. The youngest sister went to the garden to pick 12 white lilies to give to her 12 brothers. But as soon as she finished picking the flowers, all 12 brothers turned into 12 crows and flew into the forest. The house and flower garden also disappeared. Now the poor girl is alone in the forest. While she was still bewildered, an old woman appeared and stood right next to her. She said, "Come on, what did my child do? Why did you pick 12 white lilies so that your brothers could turn into crows?" The girl burst into tears. "Ma and number 39, is there no way to free them?" There is no other way but for 7 years of silence, not speaking, not smiling. Until the 7-year period expires, even just an hour before, if you open your mouth to speak, it will all be in vain. It was those words that killed my brothers. The girl thought to herself, surely I can free my brothers. She walked, kept walking, came to an old tree, she climbed up and sat on the tree. She sat knitting, neither speaking nor smiling. Once the king was hunting in the forest. A big hunting dog ran to the base of an old tree. It ran around the tree trunk and barked. The king spurred his horse to run forward and saw someone in the tree. The king was very surprised at the beauty of the girl with the yellow star on her forehead. The king asked her if she wanted to be queen. She didn't and #39 speak, but nodded. The king himself climbed the tree, carried her down, put her on the horse and went back to the palace. The wedding was held very lavishly and jubilantly, but the bride neither spoke nor smiled. The king and queen lived happily together for a few years. Then the queen mother sneered, "He and number 39's just a low-class beggar that you brought home. Who knows what crazy things it will do? If it was mute, it wouldn't and #39 be able to speak, but at least it could smile." The kind of people who Don and number 39 smile are cruel. At first, the king did not want to believe his mother and number 39's words, but listening to the queen mother keep talking and talking, adding this and that sinful story, made the king discouraged and follow his mother and number 39's wishes to execute the queen. The funeral pyre was placed in the royal courtyard. The king stood by the window, looking with tears in his eyes. The king still loved the queen in his heart. The queen was tied tightly to the pyre. The fire was burning. The flames began to lick her clothes, just as her 7-year term had just ended. In the sky there was the sound of birds flapping their wings. 12 crows flew, swooped to the ground and appeared as 12 boys. They immediately put out the fire at the funeral pyre and rescued her sister from that place. Then the brothers hugged and kissed each other passionately. Now the queen can laugh and talk. The queen immediately told the king why she had neither spoken nor smiled for so long. The king was very happy, because the queen was innocent. The king and queen lived in harmony until the mountains disappeared. The cruel and sinister queen mother was put on trial, thrown into a cauldron of boiling oil to swim with poisonous snakes, and died a miserable death. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.